This podcast is brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. The market showed solid progress on Thursday, driven by rises in several flagship companies, such as CFAO Motors, Côte d'Ivoire, Filtisac, and Uniwax. These individual performances, combined with positive momentum across the main indices, confirm an encouraging trend for investors seeking to strengthen their portfolios in West Africa. Let's take a closer look at the day's champions. CFAO Motors. Côte d'Ivoire surged by 7.46%, closing at 1,825 francs CFA. And this is not just a remarkable daily increase. Since the beginning of the year, the stock has more than doubled, climbing over 104%. For investors, this reflects renewed confidence in automobile consumption in Côte d'Ivoire. It is also a sign that the sector is benefiting from urban household demand and greater access to consumer credit. Filtisac Côte d'Ivoire followed closely behind. Its share price jumped 7.39% to close at 2,905 francs CFA. Since January, the stock has gained more than 57%. This is a strong signal for the packaging industry, often seen as a barometer of both industrial production and agriculture. When bags and packaging products are selling well, it means harvest, logistics, and trade flows are running at full capacity. Tractafric Motors, Côte d'Ivoire also stood out, rising by 7.34% to reach 2,705 francs CFA. This confirms that the automotive sector is one of the main engines of this week's trading session. But the real fireworks came from Uniwax. The stock soared 7.23% in just one session, closing at 1,260 francs CFA. Even more impressive, over the year the price has risen by more than 207%. In practical terms, an investor who placed 1,000 francs CFA into Uniwax at the start of the year would now hold more than 3,000 francs CFA. This kind of spectacular return is rare and shows just how much some consumer-related companies, particularly in fashion and cultural industries, can surprise at the BRVM. Finally, Bernabé Côte d'Ivoire gained 6.51%, closing at 1,800 francs CFA. The stock is up nearly 69% since the beginning of the year. This reflects the strength of the construction materials distribution sector, supported by urban growth and infrastructure projects. Of course, not everything was green. Air Liquide Côte d'Ivoire fell 7.35%, ending at 630 francs CFA. This is a significant correction, but keep in mind that over the year the stock is still up by 26%. Such pullbacks are normal and often create interesting entry points for long-term investors. NSIA Banque Côte d'Ivoire lost 2.01%, closing at 11,215 francs CFA. Despite this, the stock remains up 58% this year, showing that investor confidence in the banking sector is still very strong. Now let's look at the broader picture with the indices. The BRVM Composite Index closed at 326.14 points, rising 0.29% on the day and more than 18% since the start of the year. This means that across all 47 listed companies, the market has been showing overall strength and resilience. The BRVM 30, which tracks the 30 most liquid and heavily traded stocks, rose 0.41% to 161.79 points. Since January, it has advanced over 16%. For investors, this confirms that the large cap, most traded stocks are leading the charge right now. The prestige compartment, grouping the most important companies in terms of capitalization and governance standards, edged slightly higher to 137.37 points. On a yearly basis, it has gained nearly 20%. On a sector level, the strongest dynamics came from consumer discretionary, which rose more than 5% in a single day, and from industry, which climbed 1.54%. These sectors are directly tied to the real economy: household spending, manufactured goods, and energy use. When these indices rise, it indicates robust domestic demand and improving business prospects. Now let's turn to the bond market. The session on October 2nd was marked by heavy activity, with more than 20,000 bonds traded for a total value of 203,657,970 francs CFA. This is a spectacular increase compared with previous days. One bond to highlight is SIPH Côte d'Ivoire, a 10-year corporate bond, which gained nearly 1.85% to close at 7,995 francs CFA. For fixed income investors, this means a steady yield paired with a still attractive risk premium. Given SAPH's exposure to agriculture and natural rubber exports, we also saw solid activity in CITAB, an 8-year bond, which gained 0.52% to finish at 19,995 francs CFA. These modest but steady moves are significant because they show growing investor appetite for fixed income instruments issued by well-established regional companies. At the sovereign level, bonds from Mali, Senegal, and Burkina Faso were actively traded, each with nominal values of 10,000 francs CFA. This is encouraging because more liquidity in government bonds signals strong confidence from institutional investors as well as individuals seeking safer yields. So, what do these numbers and percentages mean for you? First, the strong gains in consumer-related stocks like Uniwax, Filtisac, and Bernabé highlight that African households are spending, the economy is expanding, and local companies are capturing this demand. For individual investors, it suggests there is still room to benefit from consumer spending and local industrial champions. Second, the solid performance of the indices reinforces the idea that diversifying across the market pays off. Investing in a basket of stocks, such as those included in the BRVM 30, allows you to reduce risk while still benefiting from the general upward trend. Finally, in bonds, the strong trading activity is a reminder that the BRVM is not just about equities. Government and corporate bonds provide predictable, regular income. In a context of regional growth but also global uncertainty, keeping a portion of your portfolio in bonds remains a wise strategy. To navigate these markets effectively, you need reliable analysis and precise recommendations. That's exactly what Daba Pro offers. With a premium subscription, you get weekly investment recommendations, in-depth company analyses, exclusive data, and reduced fees for trading. With Daba Pro, you don't just follow the markets, you stay ahead of them. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your app store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.